It is nice that this comes with the palette. I was kind of wondering about that. Ooh, these are individual little guys. That's cool. I've obviously never used this type of gouache before. Hey, how are you doing? For a second I was like, am I going to be able to open this? That would be bad. Ooh, juicy. Oh. Turns out I'm going to need a napkin, so that's good to know. I don't know if I did that wrong or if I'm just extra messy doing things. Probably some of both. I think this is supposed to be resealable, so I'm not going to like completely close it. I'm gonna awkwardly set it right there. See if the rest of these are that absolutely juicy. I've never actually watched someone open this. I wonder if anyone else has this issue, or it's or if it's a more me specific thing. Okay, this one's less juicy. I feel like that one was just kind of overflowing, which is good because it's like, you know, a lot of paint, but bad because I was not expecting it. I'm just going to go ahead and take this off because I feel like otherwise I'm just going to make a even larger mess. If that is possible, which may not be, honestly. Hey, how are you doing? Just gonna awkwardly set this right here. That one was super juicy. That one wasn't as much. So it's just kind of like a gamble, I guess, on which one of these are going to be like super juicy. Now that I'm expecting it, it is a bit different. Because before I was just like, ooh. Just like completely surprised. Ooh. Not gonna lie, I thought that was about to be super messy. A little bit of a struggle there. That's pretty. Like, just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful that is. Okay, I feel like I'm getting better at this. Is this a skill? Probably not, but it is for me. Wouldn't think that this is a challenge, but set that right there. These colors are so pretty. The struggle. I'm slowly learning though. Very, very slowly. I feel like I shouldn't be struggling this much with opening things. Though there is like or it seems like there's this corner that works best with opening. Maybe I just completely made that up, but it seems like that. Like, seems like that's true because I just made it up. Okay. This one looks like the top one. Didn't even look at that, but obviously there's like a top one. Like, let's make this super difficult by trying to open the one on the bottom first. Little challenge. Nice. I think I got some blue on there. My hand is essentially a napkin at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up before I set that one down. Or at least try to. And get nail all in that, obviously. At least this isn't toxic, because that would be bad. Quite bad. I'm slowly learning, slowly gaining the skills. Just like giant screeching. Yeah. Me considering it an accomplishment whenever I actually open these correctly. Okay. I think I'm on a roll. I think I got this now. I say that. It's about the time that I definitely don't got this. Ooh. This one is less juicy, which is nice, because, you know, I feel like the first part of this is a good example of why that's good for that first one was like, could have won an award in the juiciest one. But who knows, there might be another one. I feel like I was also kind of like squeezing the sides, which I'm maybe doing right now. So that definitely didn't help. For a second I was like, by the time I open all these, will they all be dry? Probably not. Hopefully not. That'll be bad. What have we learned? Gotta open this one first. Yeah. So hyped. Like, I didn't realize how I would struggle with the actual opening, but learn something new every day, I guess. My nails have decided to just like stop working. Aha. Whoa, this one is juicy. This one might win the juicy award, but this time I'm prepared, I think. May have jinxed it. Like, this time I'm prepared and I just get it everywhere. I didn't, though. So hopefully I get an award or something for that. I don't think I do. Okay. This one. Ooh, I like that color. Pretty. Pull down here. By the time I'm done with this, I'm going to be an expert at opening these. At least, you know, like passable. Hopefully. Okay, so it looks like this one's on top of that one, so I'm gonna yoink that. Deep red. Ooh. Gonna be honest, when I first started opening this, I thought the first one was red, but this is definitely red. Just can't see colors, apparently. Oh, this is so pretty. Just freaking out because it's so pretty. Goals. Okay, what about this one? Struggle. I'm gonna set this right there. Why didn't I do that before? I don't know. Look how I like making things difficult. Yes. Success. guess I could have just taken all these out as I'm doing this instead of trying to like put them in there. So, but you know how it be. So it seems like some of these that are drier just need to be kind of mixed. Thankfully, I have these weird paint brushes. They're actually not weird. They're very nice. And small. It's so hard to find good small paint brushes. Oh no. Struggle. I think this one's first. I feel like I'm definitely doing this in the most difficult way. Challenge run. It's just opening something. Whoa. Ooh. I'm just smacking things at this point. Medium yellow. What's a medium yellow? I say that like I can't see the outside. Question is, how covered in paint am I going to be by the end of this? Not even like the actual painting, but just the opening. Completely forgot where everything went, so I'm just gonna kind of set them there and hope. Womp womp. Obviously, I am not a meat painter. Oh, does this actually say where they go? Oh, I put them in the wrong place. Ah, shame. Oh well. I think I switched a couple. It's fine. And these, pull it up slowly so I don't destroy it. Everything just combusts. Oh no. I'm actually not sure if I'm supposed to use water with these. Which probably something I should have figured out before I started opening. But I didn't. Because I'm a fool. Brown. Sounds sarcastic, but it's actually a nice shade of brown. Oh no. I feel like I'm doing this very aggressively. Or maybe it's just the sound effects that are aggressive. I have to do sound effects though. That's what gives me power. My dog agrees. He's like, hello? Strength. I feel like trying to brute force this is not a good idea. But I'm doing it anyway. Okay, I think this is the top one. Half of this is just me finding the top one. I didn't know that there was a top one, but apparently there is. It's a skill in itself. Ooh. After the first one, I assume by the end of this, all of these would be like just everywhere. So I'm glad that they're not. Orange. Wait, oh, it's actually orange. It's gotten to the point where I just see something and I'm like, colors, orange. Oh no, this one's juicy. The hope. Oh no. So juicy. As juicy as the first one. I thought that I was more prepared. But I'm not. No, I do have a paper towel. So before I didn't, and I was like, oh no, what do I do? Nothing I could possibly do. Whoa, gonna need a second paper towel. Actually, probably not. I got a very liberal amount of paper towels, so it should be fine. I am treating this like a challenge run or something. Like, can I do this? Maybe. It's just opening, it's not even the actual painting. Like, I know I can do that, because, you know, whatever it is, just pretend that that's what you meant to do. It's the secret. I'm gonna I'm so close to the end. I'm like, is this where it messes up? Maybe. Might it? Maybe. My dog is not amused. I did not realize that this thing tells you which order they're in, so that's helpful. Because before I was like trying to memorize it, and I'm like, oh no. Can't remember more than one color at the same time. Not gonna lie, when I was taking that one out, I thought that it was just going to like spin out and all of it was going to fall, but it didn't. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so this one goes here. Bit orange. Said that like so questioning. Like, orange, baby. And this one. Stay. This thing. And that one. It's the actual given names of all of them. Just this thing and that one. Okay. These are the brushes that it came with. These are my tiny little brushes. I do want to use these, but I'm more comfortable with these. I'm going to start out with these. I'm like, these are my comfort brushes. My emotional support brushes. So, I don't know where to put this thing. Guess I can just leave it there. It'll be all awkward. Ignore the weird palette paper right there. I don't know why I was just looking at it through there. Like, I can't just use my eyes. Like, let's see what this looks like. Okay. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to dip this in water first, or if you're just supposed to do that. So I'm going to start out just this, and we will see. Ooh, it's a nice texture. Also, since I'm done painstakingly unboxing it, very awkwardly, I'm going to put that there. I'm not sure what that is. Sometimes there's just like stuff on the paper and I'm like, what is it? Who knows? I feel like I do need a little water on this. Just getting paint on my glasses. Goals. I'm gonna also move this water over here. Because me reaching over everything to get the water is never a good idea. Do have to say I really like the texture of these. I've never used a jelly cup before, so it's always nice when something like actually works out. Because sometimes things are like, oh, this is a way to make this type of painting easier, and then it makes it way, way worse. Not a fan. This is the opposite. I'm gonna adjust it again. And put this thing down. A little awkward adjustment. Okay, not that far down. I'm gonna get some paint on the light if it's right there. Actually, never done that, which is surprising. I'm gonna get some of this darker green. Ooh. Definitely a fan of this. Should I be using the palette? Yes, but am I? No. I usually just use different brushes for different like colors, so I guess this will be the green brush. Or like the yellow, I guess. Also, the jelly cups are pretty big, so I feel like it doesn't really matter that much as long as I keep to like green and not like put a whole manner of other colors in there. Get this light green and put some here where the highlights would be, allegedly. Just kind of adding some depth. And then I'll go through and add the individual little, it's going to say strands of grass, blades of grass, strands of grass. I believe that I'm saying this, but my brushes may be too small, so I think I'm going to use the brushes that it came with for the sky area. Probably, I'm curious about that one. Ignore the paint on my hands. Just randomly choosing this one. I'm too overwhelmed by the decision. The same. Comes with those tiny brushes. If it's not a small little detail, it takes quite a long time to actually do. I'm gonna move this slightly and see if it is a better angle. There. Some angles it just like blurs every time I do anything, which is not ideal. Hey, how are you doing? It's a lot easier than that tiny brush, unsurprisingly. consistency of these. I was not sure really what to expect. I had just seen people using it and I was like, oh, gotta try. Hey, how are you doing? This is the struggle. Like, what angle do I get this where it's also visible, you know? Aw, thank you. Again, should be using the palette, but chaos requires that I not for some reason. For the white, I will though. It's like you know, that's a different story. I'm gonna need that for a lot. So I want it to be like covered in green or whatever. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna add some darker blue. So that is a question. I'm like, maybe. Some of these were not very mixed on the, like within the cup, so I'm like just kind of mixing it on the actual thing. My one critique, I guess. But not really a big deal. I just forgot to like mix them before I started, so I guess that's kind of on me. Trying to adjust that for glare, but I feel like it's just kind of as it is. There isn't a ton of light here, so unfortunately I need that giant, it's going to say fan light. I'm gonna use a different brush for the white, and it'll just be like, I just won't use anything else on it because, you know, like if I get, there's so many other shades of things, like 50 billion things of green, so I'm not super worried about like messing up the green, because it's like, okay, if I mess up this one, it'll like, you know, I have 16 other greens. But with the white, it's like there's only one, so got this giant glob. Perfect. I'm just kidding. Like, yeah. Going to hopefully learn from my mistakes and move this one. I was just like smacking it with my hand as I was doing this. I'm just kind of going over the clouds to make them more cloud-like, I guess. Perfect explanation. Give the clouds more depth, the better explanation. Like, gotta make the clouds more cloud-like. It's like, what does that mean? I don't know. It sounded good. Okay, I'm gonna try and not overwork the clouds. We'll try. Hey, how are you doing? I'll wipe off this brush too, because on my famous paper towel, which I'm like, I don't need one of these. You do. Definitely do. If you're wondering why my hands are covered in paint, then paper towel. Started this out and I was like, I'm not gonna need a paper towel. It'll be fine. And then I almost immediately just got paint all over my hands. Thank you. Um, Currently, landscape. I'm mainly testing out these paints because I hadn't tried them yet, and so I'm just kind of seeing the consistency and everything, and waiting for the different layers to dry so I can add some more details. Tiny brush time. I always get excited when I can finally use the tiny brush. I'm gonna start with this darkish green. The one con of tiny brushes is obviously you can't really get a lot of paint on them. So if you're impatient, such as me, it can be easy to mess something up because you're like, oh, it's probably fine, and then you're just kind of like going over the same thing when there's no paint on your brush. Trying to like brute force painting. Like only I would try and like treat painting like it's like a Dark Souls speed run or something. Actually, never done a Dark Souls speed run. Like I'm not speedy. Oh, thank you. So small. I always get like extra pressure, I guess, when I'm doing stuff on the horizon line because I'm like, oh no, if it looks horrible, it'll forever be there, which isn't technically true. I can always paint over it, but I'm like, oh, extra pressure. It's like self-induced anxiety. I guess all anxiety is unintentionally self-induced, but sadly, I'm like, I would know. Yeah. Sometimes I gotta hype myself up. Like, does it look okay? Probably. Most likely it looks fine. Half the time I'll like look at something as I'm making it and I'm like, that looks fantastic. And then I'll look at it afterwards and I'm like, oh, that was terrible. Or it's like the opposite where I'm like, oh, this looks terrible. And then I look at it from like further away or when I'm done like painting it, I'm like, oh, it actually looks fine. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to tell how something's going to turn out when I'm like working on it because I'm just like focusing on the tiny little details or whatever I'm working on and I can't really see the full picture. And sometimes it actually is helpful to have something like my phone like recording so that I can see like through the phone screen and see more of like the big picture, no pun intended. Just to see like, okay, what does this actually look like not this tiny piece of grass that I'm hyperfixating on, but like the entire thing. I do sometimes hyperfixate on a tiny piece of grass and I'm like, if this tiny piece of grass isn't perfect, then I'm just going to give up. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but you know. I feel like this time the tiny pieces of grass are relatively good. Like, sometimes I question it, but this time I'm like, okay, there's so many, they're so small. Sometimes the glare from like the ring light kind of helps because it makes it so I can't really obsess over one tiny piece of grass as much because I can't really see it. You just got to see the shape of it. So like thank you ring light for making me not able to see anything. I'm gonna get these tiny pieces of grass, the itty bittiest ones. Like exciting. But that's just me all the time. I can't blame it on the grass. I'm just like leaning to the side to try and see what I'm actually doing. Like, okay, I kind of need to see now. So it's nice to not be able to see, but also sometimes you do need to see. Okay, I'm gonna get some of this, I don't even know what oh, they have the names of the colors. Grass green. It's kind of funny that I haven't used the grass green on the grass yet, but I'm like, oh, what's this color? It's just like grass green. I'm like, oh, oops. For some reason, I always have like my hand awkwardly right there, I guess, because I'm used to like steadying it, but right now it's taped, obviously, so it doesn't really make any sense. My hand's just kind of there. My comfort hand position, emotional support hand position. Sometimes I just get used to it. I'm like, why is my hand right there? Hey, currently trying out these new paints. I've seen them a lot, just basically everywhere online. So I was like, I'm gonna try them out. And basically currently making this little landscape. Tiny pieces of grass. I'm not totally sure what this one's gonna be, but you know, it'll be something. Oh, thank you. Just like smacking the light. Turns out how I have the paints is not ideal for me not smacking the whole setup. So just like every time it's like a little shaky. At least you'll know when I'm getting paints. It's like you don't have to question what I'm doing. It's like, oh, everything's shaking. Paint time. My dog just kind of got up. He's like, oh, something's happening. I feel like whenever I mean, I know that they say the dogs kind of know, like, well, they don't know words, but they know specific words, but I feel like my dog more knows, like, tones, I guess. So if I say anything in the tone that I normally call him in, he'll just respond to it. I mean, so I say that. He sometimes obviously doesn't because he likes being evil, but most of the time he will. Like every single time he responds, he's perfect. He's my little guy, though, you know? He's one of those dogs that kind of likes being irritating, I feel like. So whenever he's like irritating me, and I'm like visibly irritated, he'll start wagging his tail. He just loves attention, I guess. Can you really blame him though? Just a little guy. He's actually not little, he's like 80 pounds. But anyway, like all my yaps always go full circle and just turn into being about the dog. Way too much on there. I'm gonna actually wipe that off. I just kind of got a glob out of that. Glob time. I'm gonna kind of like mix this a bit. Got all the colors. Some of these I'm not going to mix because I kind of like the contrast, but I feel like all of them shouldn't have that same contrast, you know? It's like all the singular pieces of grass can't look exactly the same. Aw, thank you. Painting this and forgetting to get water. When I first started, I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna need water with this. Yes, I shall. Just kind of making like a little base for these little pieces of grass. Otherwise, it just looks like I have like random disembodied shapes in the middle of green. Which isn't really ideal. Aw, thank you, I appreciate it. The first part of this was just me awkwardly trying to unbox this, and I underestimated how difficult it would be and how juicy these paint things would be. I was like, I didn't think that this would be the difficult part, but yeah, it worked in the end. So now I know. I think the first one I opened was the most difficult too, so I was like, oh no. Thought this was going to be a little tee-hee moment, and it was a full-on like challenge, unintentional challenge. I feel like me trying to get paint up there without smacking the phone holder thing is a new sport, and I'm very bad at it. Like most sports. I think the only sport that I've done that I feel like I've actually technically like the only sport I've done, not even that I've been good at, was horse riding, and some people don't even consider that a sport. So basically, I've done nothing in conclusion. Sorry, everyone. Bob says that horse riding isn't a sport, so I've done nothing. Am I obsessed with putting little highlight dots everywhere? Yes. Do I really want to do some sound effects with it? Yes. I won't. Set this here. And back to the white. The brush that was supposed to stay just white is now like this bluish, obviously, because, you know, blue. So I'm going to try and wipe it off as well as I can and just like be gentle grabbing the white, I guess, I suppose. Full circle moment, I guess. Why did I say circle so weird? Like a circle. Full circle. Sometimes I say something and I'm like, that was a little weird, but I don't have to acknowledge it. But sometimes I say something so weird that I'm like, if I don't acknowledge it, it's just weird. Maybe that's just me, though. Maybe acknowledging it does make it more weird. I got some blue and white, and now I'm going to be canceled by myself. Thank you. Yes, horses are so cute. Just like awkwardly putting that brush there, like decoration. I'm gonna add some little flowers, little guys, you know. Some of this is dried. I've seen people with this kind of pointer thing that looks like a weird cartoonish pointer finger, and I feel like I need them, but I have no idea where they get them because I don't know. Whenever they're like pointing at stuff, I'm like, that's so beautiful. Okay, so this purplish. Okay, need some more water. Not juicy enough. Shaming myself. That's a good question. Sorry, I could not. It was like in my brain. I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but that makes sense. I think I'm actually not sure, honestly. Um, Generally when I like paint these little guys, I'm just kind of like sometimes I'll have a inspiration, I guess, but generally when I do it live, it's just kind of like going off of vibes alone. So it could be anything, honestly. I am open to recommendations or requests. Unfortunately, I don't have like a computer by me or a second screen, so I kind of have to go off of what I have in the old noggin. Oops. These do reactivate with water. So sometimes I forget that. So it kind of looks like acrylic, and I'm like, oh, it's dry. And then it kind of pulls up some of the old color, and I'm like, oh, never could have expected that, you know? Like, who could have predicted this? No one. Whoa. I guess that's what I get for having everything kind of close together. the extreme sport of me trying to get paint without smacking that thing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I would not be able to do this without these tiny brushes. That sounds like a weird ad, but unfortunately is. Unfortunately, that's just how I talk. Sounds like that's the start of some ad. Been told that the way that I talk sounds like AI. I'm like, no. And then I thought about it and I was like, you kind of do, though. I do. I just say it do when I start crying. Okay, I'm not going to add any along the horizon because it would differ a lot in size, and this brush, well, I mean, I have that tiny, tiny one, but I doubt my skill. So I will just be working with those. And also, I feel like, I mean, I have done landscapes in the past where I've put flowers like on the horizon line, and I feel like it always looks a little wonky because I have trouble making the flowers like small, like they need to be, because it's further away. And so, yeah. Like, that's my story. That's my yap. Unfortunately, the yap is never done. Sometimes I think people have kind of a second camera where it just shows their face, but I feel like every time that I paint, I just look kind of like a gremlin. I just like slowly get closer to the painting. Posture gets worse and worse, and I'm like, I don't think anyone wants to see that. I don't want to see that. If I looked in the corner and like saw myself like that, I'd be like, oh, I'm scared. And then like the awkward expressions when I know I just messed up. I'm like, oh no. Like, play it off, play it off. Yeah, I used to be so scared of live streaming stuff or just, speaking in general. And then, I mean, to an extent, I still am, but I started streaming games a while ago, and that helped me get a lot more comfortable. I was actually like in 2020, so I was kind of locked in, and I was like, like literally not the figurative locked in, and I was like, okay, time to stream. I have to have something to do, because I was like in school, but I couldn't really hang out with people or anything, so I was like, oh, I'll just hang out with the online people. And it was actually nice. Helped me be more awkward. I mean, less awkward. The best mistake in me speaking. Ignore the large amount of paint on my hand, please. Me opening this, oh, I got so much paint on my hands. I didn't realize how juicy they would be. I just opened it, the first one, and I was like, ooh, hey, how are you doing? Literally, first thing, it just got paint all over my hands, and I was like, okay, this is how I am now. The other ones weren't that bad, but I thought they would all be like that, and I was kind of scared. It's like, I don't have the skill for this, and it's just opening something. As I was yapping, the tops to these almost fell off, so that would have been bad. My dog would have eaten it immediately, and I would have been like, please, please no. I think some of these I did. That one just sad, but I feel like the rest of these are fine. I got that little blob of water and then it reactivated everything around there, and now it's just like a whole blob. Hey, how are you doing? You get this awkward little piece of this. Haha. I feel like I just like did a life hack or something. Fixed one thing. Now I'm an expert. That one may just need to be forgotten. Like, I may have to give up on that one, or just wait for it to dry, which is difficult. Like even worse, waiting for something to dry. It does need a bit more white on the clouds, especially the top one. I was like just staring at it, and I was like, something's wrong. I need to figure out what it is. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were talking to me, and I was like, probably. Like, I'll just wait and see. But then again, sometimes I'll be like streaming something, and like the whatever I'm doing is like in the title. Not this time, as a disclaimer. But and somebody will be like, "What are you painting?" And I'm like, oh no. And then sometimes I don't know if they're like joking. They're not joking. But at first, when somebody first asked that, I was like, heh, meme. But they were not joking. Always learn, or I have learned, it's better to not assume that people are joking unless you know them, which took me a long time to realize because there have been multiple times where I thought that somebody was like joking and I would like laugh and then they would look all sad and I'd be like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do some darker sky around this to add some more depth. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, how are you doing? Yes. Unless I'm doing a little awkward silence. Classic unscripted awkward silence. It's actually more of a focusing awkward silence, but still. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I feel like the side area of the cloud needs a bit more done. But not that I was trying to add with that like darkest color, and I feel like that looked a little odd. So I'm going to do it with this kind of moderate blue, mid-tone blue. I don't know if that's actually a thing, or if I just completely made that up. I feel like it has to be, you know? I mean, I know the concept is a thing, but sometimes I'll just say words, and I'm like, I don't know if that's actually a term that people use. I'm just saying things. Oh, nice. What do you draw or paint? Oh, thank you. Sometimes when I'm like starting out or in the middle of one of these, I'm like, I'm not sure how this is gonna be. So it's always nice when it looks good. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's just like part of the whole process. You know, it can't always look good. Oh, nice. Do you do a specific medium? I feel like I've just been kind of hopping around mediums trying to find a good one. Started out with like watercolor, then started with this, and good. So I have the little tubes, but it's like I've seen so many people talk about this, but that I was like, I want to try it. So yes, definitely. I've seen a lot of people here that don't like talk on live, or I assume it's on live, like a recorded thing. Um, and it seems to be pretty popular, which I always appreciate because I mean, sometimes I am yapping like right now. It is nice to have the option to not yap because on some platforms they kind of get annoyed at you if you don't constantly either yap or have like music or something. So that's unfortunate because sometimes I feel like yapping, and sometimes it's like, 8 p.m. and I've like had a long day, and I'm like, no yaps. I mainly do, I mean, in general, I just do these little tiny paintings. But I think my style is typically more like this, like kind of cartoonish. And I have done some more, I guess, realism question mark, or attempted some. I want to get better at it, but I generally don't do it. Also like doing little creatures, but decided to start with this. No problem. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's the constant just staring at this. Okay, I'm gonna put some more green on here. Like my 4 hours of staring has told me that I need more green. Thank you. That is such a cute little emoji. feel like a lot of little like emoji styles are kind of unsettling, but it seems like the ones on here are really cute. Some of them, like some styles, I'm like, oh my goodness, what is that? I feel like that's a threat. Some smiley faces are so creepy. I'm like, oh. It's like I can't tell if you're threatening me or if you're actually happy. Ooh. Do you generally do like landscapes or like um little creatures? Because depending on that, obviously my recommendation would be different. Like, do you do ocean creatures as well, or mainly just like the actual ocean? I'm always a fan of like sunset oceanscapes, so that would probably be my recommendation. Oh, yes. Little ocean creatures. I've seen so much like jellyfish art and like shark art. For some reason, that was very difficult for me to say. But always a fan of that. The little cute creatures. When I called this a cartoonish style, I thought that I would have to like have a little disclaimer, like not in a bad way. And I'm like, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, you insulting yourself. I just like more, I don't know. I used to like try and make my style more, um, I guess, realistic, and I feel like I've been getting like kind of trying to expand and try some more realism, but I've grown to appreciate just my generic cartoonish little style. Though I am always really impressed when somebody can do that extreme realism, like the kind where it's like, no, that's just a picture. It's awesome. It's like one day I would like to be able to do that, but I do enjoy doing this type of art. It's always really cool to me to see how different people interpret different things like landscapes or little creatures. With, as they say, the rise of ACOs, it's nice to see everyone's style just doing different things. I feel like everyone's getting more of a chance to expand their, like, both their, not really expand their style, I guess, but just expand their, I don't, the word in my brain is expertise. I don't feel like that's the right one, but I guess. Oh, nice. Hey. Just wiped this on the paper towel and it did this like perfect little gradient of green and it brought me so much joy. I'm like, oh, nice. I'm gonna get the tiniest little brush and do some little details. I feel like everything is kind of details with this, but do some details on the flowers. Yes, it is maximum anxiety time. Just thought that before I was maximum anxiety. so small. I wasn't sure about this, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I'm going to do some details in the least sure way, and then I started it and I was like, oh, okay. Sometimes I'll get a gut feeling like this needs details, and then I'll be like, I don't know, and then it actually looks good. Though sometimes I do that same thing and it looks bad. But, yeah, that's experimentation. Can't always look good. And just flip that around. The old troubleshooting. Comfort hand just right there. Hey, how are you doing? I was just adding something there and I was like, oh, there is no paint on my brush. Oops. Awesome. I'm not sure. I'm guessing you can't send it in the chat. I'm not sure. Is there? I feel like most platforms it's like you can't send images. I'm like, that's probably a safe thing. Is there a way to message people on YouTube? I'm obviously not very familiar. Sad. Just like awkwardly staring at this. I'm like, I need something. I need some yellow. Actually, this may look terrible. It's my experiment. I just start crying while I'm saying experiment. Ooh, that's good, I think. Obviously very sure. I feel like this cloud is just getting thicker. Eventually this whole thing is going to be a cloud. In a giant clump, as they say. Thank you. Oh, thanks so much for stopping by. I was so focused on the clump, I just saw that. Sorry. Like I'm so focused on my mistakes. This tiny brush. I feel like this is one of those situations where using the tiniest brush is making things difficult. Aw, thank you. It's about to get more of this paint. Like, I need more clump. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm gonna get some blue to kind of even this out. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you. Gonna add a bit more white here just because I may have added a bit too much of the peachish color. Thank you. This thing is inching its way over there. It's like, oh no. I'm going to super awkwardly stay. Move this over here towards the blank. Thanks so much for stopping by. I say that I actually am not sure what I'm going to do with the blank yet. So I think that this one is good. Like trying not to way overdo it to the point where it turns into a literal blob. It's always my issue. let's see the whole state of this. So that's unfortunately all the time that I have for today, but thank you guys so much for stopping by and supporting. I really appreciate it.